Happy holidays, everyone. Wade for the Kingdom Report back with you once again, covering all the latest Disney Parks news and headlines from coast to coast. Today, starting out west first at the Disneyland Resort, where Deadline is reporting that Disneyland has responded to the Magic Key Annual Pass lawsuit brought on by lack of reservations available for the highest tier purchasers. They write that Disney has hit back at the civil lawsuit against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts in California. The company has filed a notice of removal and plans to take it to the U.S. District Court. Since the rollout of the Magic Key program, there's been nothing but challenges. Fans believe Disney falsely advertised the highest tier of their program, which projected no blockout dates. Buyers reported having difficulties booking reservations due to the limited amount of reservations available for tier holders, hence the lawsuit. According to WDW News Today, the plaintiff filed a $5 million suit with the Orange County Superior Court alleging that Disneyland theme park treats Magic Key holders as second-class ticket holders by artificially limiting Magic Key reservations and the number of key holders that can visit on any given day. The plaintiff is petitioning the court to up the case to a class action lawsuit on behalf of purchasers of the highest tier. According to the LA Times, spokesperson for Disneyland, Liz Yeager, responded to the suit by stating, quote, "We have been clear about the terms of the Magic Key product, and we know that many of our guests are enjoying the experiences these passes provide. We will vigorously defend our position as the case proceeds." Close quote. There is no guarantee disclaimer on the Disneyland website regardless of purchase. Once again, thank you, Deadline, for that story. And from there, we move to this story about the corporate Walt Disney Company. Blog Mickey reports that CNBC has released an article that asked 10 media executives to offer up predictions for the industry in 2022. One of the predictions that they reported on was that Bob Iger would return as Disney CEO in 2022. According to one anonymous executive, there are internal wagers that Iger will return as Disney CEO in 2022 amidst sliding stock prices and stagnant Disney Plus growth. The premise of the CNBC article is that of significant predictions. While it might be easy to dismiss the article as nonsense, it's unlikely that the predictions simply came from an angle of clickbait. Blog Mickey writes that we imagine that there is some substance behind the prediction. That said, while Iger has made a habit of extending his contract as CEO multiple times over the past 5 to 10 years, we think it's unlikely that Iger will return as CEO in 2022. While the CNBC article doesn't offer much in the way of substance to support the prediction, there is evidence that the changing of the guard from Iger to Bob Chapek is not going to reverse course. For starters, Chapek is Iger's handpicked successor. Chapek has Iger's vote of confidence, and Iger would presumably not have stepped down if he didn't have faith in Chapek. To that end, there have been a number of Disney executives that have also announced that they will be leaving with Iger. Longtime General Counsel Alan Braverman and Communications Chief Xenia Mucha are leaving at the end of this year. Other execs, such as Walt Disney Studios Chairman Alan Horn and Disney Branded Television's Gary Marsh, are also leaving. The wheels are not only in motion, but cruising down the exit ramp. Back in March 2021, Iger reiterated that he would be leaving at the end of 2021, and in June, he sold nearly $100 million in Disney stock. All signs are pointing to the exit being permanent, but only time will tell. Once again, thank you, blogmickey.com, for those words. And from there, we move back to Disneyland, as DailyNews.com is reporting that Disneyland has more than doubled prices on some Lightning Lane rides. They write, Disneyland has raised prices by more than 150% on the two most popular rides at Disney California Adventure, as the new Lightning Lane pay-to-ride costs skyrocketed during the traditionally busy Christmas holiday season at the Anaheim theme parks. Individual Lightning Lane prices for Web Slingers and Radiator Springs Racers rose from $7 to $18 per ride this week, as DCA braces for the winter holiday crowds that typically descend on the resort at this time of year. The new Disney Genie service debuted in early December as part of the Disneyland mobile app as a replacement for the retiring FastPass and MaxPass line-cutting options. Disney's new personal assistant service is divided into three parts: the free Disney Genie option, the paid Disney Genie Plus alternative and the upcharge individual Lightning Lane access. The $20 Disney Genie Plus service offers front-of-the-line access to 19 rides at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. Individual Lightning Lane access for 3 of the most popular attractions, Rise of the Resistance, Web Slingers, and Radiator Springs Racers, cost $7 to $20 per ride, with prices varying by day. The individual Lightning Lane attractions are not part of the paid Genie Plus lineup of rides. The individual Lightning Lane line-cutting service promises to significantly shorten wait times, which stood at 240 minutes for Web Slingers, 145 minutes for Rise of the Resistance, and 90 minutes for Radiator Springs Racers at publication time on Wednesday, December 22nd. Disneyland has always said individual Lightning Lane prices for the pay-to-ride service would be flexible and adjustable. Introductory prices ranged from $7 for Web Slingers and Radiator Springs Racers to $20 for Rise of the Resistance when the new Disney Genie service rolled out on December 8th. The new $18 cost for Web Slingers and Radiator Springs Racers represents a whopping 157% holiday price hike from the initial launch. At times, weekend prices for Web Slingers and Radiator Springs Racers have climbed to $12 each since Lightning Lane was introduced. Prices for the top 2 DCA rides are often $7 apiece during the middle of the week. The individual Lightning Lane fee did not rise for Rise of the Resistance during the latest price hike, with the $20 cost already at the top of the price range. With those limits in place, a 157% price hike would have brought the Lightning Lane individual cost for Rise of the Resistance to more than $50. Die-hard Disneyland fans are still adjusting to the new pay-to-ride concept that harks back to the A to E tickets used during the early days of the park. Once again, our many thanks to LADailyNews.com for that story. And a lot is changing at Disney World this week as we move out east. MSN.com reports something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. The old wedding checklist fittingly applies to Walt Disney's busiest theme park resort these days. Disney World is gearing up for the holiday travel season and bracing for an inflow of guests at levels it hasn't seen in 2 years. The media giant's theme parks have recently been a bright spot in its financials. The parks, experiences, and products segment surprised Wall Street by returning to profitability 2 quarters ago, and revenue from the parks specifically nearly tripled in the quarter that ended October 2nd. There may have been some speed bumps along the way, but the House of Mouse is making sure that Disney World is ready for the spike in business. Let's check out some of the things that will be changing this week. In terms of something old, if you heard blasts from Disney's Hollywood Studios shortly after noon on Sunday, well, there was no need to panic. It was just the sound of the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular show returning to the park for the first time since the resort's pandemic closure began in mid-March 2020. Due to a combination of health concerns and staffing challenges, the company has been slow to resume live shows since the park reopened. However, they have been gradually returning to the resort's 4 gated theme parks, and the Indiana Jones themed extravaganza is a pretty big deal given the show's large capacity. If your goal is to keep a seasonally expanded crowd of visitors spread throughout the park complex, you'll want to have plenty of things for them to do. Another welcome return this week was parking lot tram service. Trams play a big part in moving guests from the massive parking lots to the front gate. With all the walking that most guests do once they pass through that gate, they'll no doubt be pleased to be spared the often lengthy hikes to and from their cars. Also, for these next 2 weeks, Disney World is widening its operating hours a bit. Normally, guests staying at select Disney resorts are able to access the park 30 minutes before the official opening. Over the holiday period, though, they'll be able to enter a full hour early. This should help reduce the early gridlock at the turnstiles. Definitely a good thing. And in the something new category, MSN reports this is Disney World's first holiday season with the Genie, Genie Plus, and Lightning Lane Plus system, which it introduced 2 months ago. The new in-park optimization app and the more controversial premium-priced replacement for the old FastPass system find Disney raising the bar when it comes to using machine learning to provide a more customized recommendation experience. Guests can use Genie for free, but have to pay $15 a day for access to Genie Plus, which allows them to reserve return windows for access to the expedited Lightning Lane queues that have replaced the old FastPass system. And for the 2 rides in each of the complex's 4 parks that command the longest wait times, Disney has added what it calls the Lightning Lane Plus. Guests can pay an additional surcharge for one-time access to one of those expedited queues. For the next 2 weeks, though, Disney will be shifting a couple of the attractions from the Lightning Lane Plus system into the Genie Plus platform. It might seem as if Disney is leaving money on the table by doing this during its busiest time of the year, but there's a method to the mouseness. Genie Plus has been criticized by the first-time users who find key return windows fill up quickly. Adding some of the Lightning Lane rides, the Lightning Lane Plus rides rather, to the Genie Plus options will help increase supply at a time when demand will be surging. And in the something borrowed category, Disney World suspended most annual pass sales to new buyers 4 weeks ago. That was a pretty surprising move in Florida, but it's a strategy that has been in use at Disneyland in California for years. Annual pass holders are among the resort's biggest fans, but they're also paying between $1 and $4 a day for year-round access. That's a sharp contrast to the high prices that guests buying one-day tickets have to pay. Disney also recently tweaked its annual pass system, among other things, adding more blockout dates during peak periods to the less expensive options, suspending annual pass sales and putting more restrictions on when they can be used. We'll make sure definitely that Disney World's average revenue per guest this season is a lot higher than it has been in previous years. And in the something blue category, they write, the unfortunate backdrop to all of this is that COVID-19 cases are surging again in Florida, around the country, and across the planet. The Omicron variant is highly contagious, even among those folks who have been fully vaccinated. Disney World isn't going to close down, though. It has already learned to deal with the swings in COVID-19 case counts since it reopened in July of last year. It has safeguards in place and measures that it can take that have generally worked to allow it to operate safely in the new normal. Guests will still come, and as the top dog in the entertainment industry, Disney knows the show must go on. Once again, thank you, MSN.com, for those words. And finally, from ClickOrlando.com, they report that guests flying into Central Florida to visit Walt Disney World will soon have a new themed bus service option available. Transportation Management Services announced Monday the launch of the Sunshine Flyer, a cost-effective themed motor coach bus experience that will transport guests from Orlando International Airport to Walt Disney World resorts. Quote, "We are incredibly excited to launch the Sunshine Flyer and give Disney guests the chance to kickstart their vacation with a fun, unique travel experience," said Frank Sherman, CEO of TMS. Everyone knows the magic of Disney once they're inside the park gates, but through the Sunshine Flyer, we're able to give guests the chance to start their vacation from the moment they step off the plane and turn what used to be a procedural drive into the beginning of an adventure to remember, close quote. The Sunshine Flyer features eye-catching themes that center around old-fashioned passenger cars and train engines. From the outside design to the staff that's dressed as 1920s rail conductors and engineers, the bus service will be perfect for families. Quote, "By combining our storied expertise in mass transportation management with a creative, themed experience, we have the unique opportunity to offer an experience that's both stress-free and engaging," Sherman said. The Sunshine Flyer is being added as Walt Disney World plans to end its Magical Express airport transportation service on January 1st. The Sunshine Flyer will offer transportation to Walt Disney World Resort destinations, including Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Disney's Contemporary Resort, Disney's Pop Century Resort, the All-Star Movies Resort, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and so many more. The Sunshine Flyer will begin service from Orlando International Airport on February 1st. Tickets for the Sunshine Flyer must be booked at least 4 days ahead of arrival. Tickets are $17 per adult, $12.50 per child each way. In celebration of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, the Sunshine Flyer will donate 50% of all revenue from the first 50,000 passengers during the first 50 days of business to Make-A-Wish Central and Northern Florida, all to support their mission of creating life-changing wishes for children and those with critical illness. Once again, thank you, clickorlando.com, for that story. And there you have it. From Disneyland to Disney World, you are up to date with all the latest Disney Parks news and headlines. As always, we remind you to hit that subscribe button, make sure the notification bell is on so you never miss an update, and we wish you the most wonderful of holiday seasons ahead. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath. We'll see you next time for another installment of the Disney Parks News Update.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.